Hello everybody, I am Dr. Nicole Mashburn and I will be your instructor for online anatomy and physiology. So I want to do just a brief orientation video to show you where things are located, what you should do for the first couple of days in the course, and just generally how to get started. Okay, so obviously if you're watching this you've logged into Blackboard, so I'm going to go into my course and I'm going to make it look like what you guys see. Instructor view and student view is a little different. So this should be what you saw when you logged into the course. So I'm going to maximize that so you can see everything. All right, so this is my course, and whenever you're in an online course at Calhoun, it should look very similar. The tabs to the left should look very similar in each course. We have kind of a consistent navigation so that you don't get lost. The first thing you should see each day when you log into my course is announcements. So be sure that you read the announcements. I post in announcements at least once a week and usually more than that. Reminders, campus happenings, whatever I need you guys to know about, maybe some information, some test information. So just always check announcements because I do post in there very regularly. So once you've read announcements, your first announcement tells you to go to course information. So here's course information. And what you're going to do is just work through these tiles. And each tile has some important information that you will need for your course. All my online courses are set up the same. So if you've had Anatomy 1 or Anatomy 2, it doesn't matter. I set them all up exactly the same way. The only thing that changes is the content. So if you've had me before, it should look very familiar because I keep everything really the same so that you won't get lost. The first thing you want to do is click on Instructor, Introduction. There's a picture of me so that you know it's my course, a little introduction about the course, and then there's an orientation video, which is what you should be watching right now, so you've made it that far. And then you go back, once you've watched this video, you go back to course information, and then you go to the course syllabus, and there is information about what you need to do next. You'll read the syllabus. I'm going to click on that. It opens up as a PDF document. I'm not going to read it to you because you guys can read. That's one of the things about online is that you have a lot of reading to do and kind of doing things on your own. But be sure you read it. It's got information about what textbook you need, any kind of PowerPoints that might be needed, access to Blackboard, what I'm going to do, how to get to the help desk, what our learning objectives are, how many points are for the semester, how it's divided up into exams and lab exams, lecture exams. Notice there is a group project. I'll give you some information about that later, but there will be a group project this semester. How the points are distributed. There's 1,250 points, so 90% is an A, 80% is a B, so just standard grading procedures. Tells you which units we're going to do. Again, if you're in A&P 1 or 2, you'll have different topics that we're going to talk about depending on which class you're in. Tells you where you're going to take your exams and quizzes and assignments. Everything is found in Blackboard. So we'll go a little bit more about testing in just a minute. Gives you makeup information, so if you were to miss an exam, it tells you what to do in case you missed an exam. And it also has a course schedule. So this is just a kind of an overview of when the exams are going to be due so that you can go ahead and look at your calendar and put those on your calendar and be prepared. So you know everything that's due for the rest of the semester as far as exams go, and you can kind of plan ahead that way. So again, I'm going to let you guys read the syllabus. And then once you've read the syllabus, you can print it out. You can take the syllabus quiz. You simply click on the syllabus quiz, hit begin, and the quiz will start. I think it's 10 questions. It's 4 points. You must do that. That's how I count you present for the course. So you need to do that the first week of the semester. If you don't take that, then I mark you absent, and you might get purged from the course from financial aid in the registrar's office. Pardon me. You don't have to buy anything separate for PowerPoints or lab guides. Everything's free to be downloaded in this course, and I'll show you where those are. The one thing that people kind of are concerned about is how to test. Now, quizzes, homework, things like that, those are not proctored. You're on an honor system to do that yourself and do your own work. But the actual exams, the lecture exams and lab exams are proctored. So be sure you take a moment to open up this folder. By default, everybody is set to test at our testing centers, which are in Huntsville and Decatur, on the Decatur and Huntsville campuses. If you have a work schedule or a situation where you don't live near campus and you want to test from home, that is possible. If you've taken a course from us before, you may have used Respondus, but we're switching over to something called HonorLock. And HonorLock is a pay for service. It's $30 a semester per course. And so if you want to test at home, you'll be able to use HonorLock. And that way you can stay home and take your test there. So if you're interested in taking your test at home, just click on these links and that will tell you what you need to do in order to get started with HonorLock. Okay, so if you've taken me before and you maybe you had to give me a demo to show me that the equipment worked, we don't do that anymore. So you just you use HonorLock and it takes care of all the little technical issues that you may have. All right, go back to course information. The next tab is the college syllabus. Be sure to read this as well. These are things that apply to all students, not just my course. So you want to make sure that you know about withdrawal policies, cheating, student code of conduct, things like that. They apply to my course, but they're for all students. Here's the course overview. It just tells you what the course is going to be about, what subjects we're going to talk about. So a little short video you can watch there. Course objectives, these are the things that we are going to cover for the semester. Again, depending on which course you're in, the objectives may look different, but these are the objectives for this particular course this semester. Little blurb on student instructor expectations. This will tell you what you're expected to do and what you should expect me to do as far as responding to emails and my grading policies and things like that. You'll also have another video. Let me go back. I need to open it up. There'll be another video that will open up on the first day of class that says, what do I do? And this is like a kind of an overview of what you need to do each week. So you'll want to watch this video as well. And there's also a video on mastering. If you've ever had A&P before, you may have bought a code with your textbook. I don't require that code. I use mastering for practice only. So if you're interested in using your code and using mastering for practice, there's information on how you can do that. Let me go back to the course syllabus again. So here's the textbook, and again, you can buy it with or without the code. It's really up to you. If you don't have a textbook and you want to buy an e-textbook, and it's a little cheaper to do it that way, you would simply click on this link called Textbook Study Area. That takes you to the mastering link. I'll click on that. It takes you to Welcome to Mastering. You click on that, you'll register your code or buy a code, buy a textbook if you don't have one already. And that will give you access to an e-textbook and all the mastering assignments. So again, you don't have to have a textbook. If you've got an old 9th or 10th edition you want to use, that's fine. If you want to use a new 11th edition, that's fine. If you want to use the code and you have access to mastering, that's fine. But you do need some sort of textbook, either the 9th edition, 10th edition, or the 11th edition. Having the code and using mastering is completely up to you. All right, go back to course information, and we were at communication policy. Take a minute just to read this. It just tells you how to contact me. The best way is through email. You just simply click on the Calhoun email and send me an email. Just be aware that if you send me an email through Blackboard, it's going to go to your My Calhoun. So you have to make sure that you don't get mad that you never answered me. Well, I did, but it went to your My Calhoun email. So make sure that you're logging in to My Calhoun and checking your email there. So if you email me from Blackboard, I'll answer you back in My Calhoun. So make sure you're checking your My Calhoun every week. That's the way the college gets in touch with you, financial aid, anything that we need you to know, it's going to come to your Calhoun email. So don't forget to check that as often as you check Blackboard, because you will have information that comes to your My Calhoun email. The other thing about communication, there's a little guidelines. I'd like you to click on that and just read through it. It's basically just some etiquette information. Just it says, we'll be professional. Don't use all caps. It looks like you're yelling. Make sure you don't use text speak like Prawley, so that I may or may not be hip to the new lingo, or I may have no idea what you're saying. So if you'll use real English, then I'll be able to follow what you're saying and can answer your questions. All right, so communications policy. And then the last button is called the Student Resources button. And this is just anything that you might need. Student Blackboard orientation, if you're not sure something about how Blackboard works, if you need the Help Center, tutoring services, how to use the testing center, just anything here, lots of information. So just click through those buttons just so you can familiarize yourself with the services and helps that are available to you in the Student Resource Center. All right. So once you've clicked through all of these tabs, you're ready to start the actual course information. Just remember, you've got to take that course syllabus. A lot of people will go through it, go back and do it, and they forget, and then they get marked absent, and they get kicked from the course. So right now, the first thing you need to do, just get that syllabus read and the syllabus quiz done, and that way you won't get kicked out. Once you've done that, you can actually go into the course information, which is under course content. You'll notice I've got a Submit Your Blackboard Orientation certificate here. If you have not done this in the past, just click this button and that will walk you through how to use Blackboard. If you have done it in the past, maybe you still have your certificate, all you have to do is put your certificate here, and then I will get that, and I give bonus points. So if you will have that to me within 1 week of the semester starting, and you'll submit your Blackboard orientation, I'll give you a couple bonus points in your grade book. So again, I don't require it, but if you want some bonus points, it's an easy way to get them. You have a calendar button here. There's also a calendar button here. So either one, if you click on it, due dates for assignments and quizzes and homework and exams will show up. So you can always, if you're not sure about when something's due, just click on the calendar. All the courses are set up the same way, where we have 5 units, and then each unit, let me go back to student mode so you don't see all this junk that's in my instructor shell. Will tell you that each unit is broken into 3 weeks. The first week you watch videos and do information. The second week you watch videos and do some homework. And the third week is your prepare and do exams. I typically have lab tests due on Tuesday and lecture tests due on Thursday. So make sure you read through this, and those due dates are always the same. Homework's due on Sunday, exam, lab test on Tuesday, lecture test on Thursday. Then you simply click on the first unit. It'll tell you what your objectives are for the unit. It'll give you a study guide and lab guides. So always click on the little blue links for information that I want you to know. These are handouts that I would give you in class if you were here. So make sure you click on these. Now these study guides are basically, they're broad, but everything that's on this study guide we're going to cover in this particular unit. And I try to break them down by chapter. That will help you find the information in the book and also in my lecture notes as you're filling out your study guides. So then you click on Unit 1, Week 1, and I've got it set up so you just simply click through the buttons, and every time you click a button, that will take you to a video. Now I left this one on purpose so it didn't play, to show you that sometimes you have to change browsers or you may not have a plugin. So if you get somewhere where something doesn't play, make sure you've got all your browsers up to date. Or change your browser. I tend to find that Chrome works the best for everything, but if for some reason you can't get a video to play, I've always added a direct link so that you can either download the video or you can play it through YouTube. All right, so if you get something that doesn't play, don't freak out. You should have a second option to make something play. All right. Now here's one where it's a YouTube video, so again, if it doesn't automatically play, I've got my plugins, I turn my plugins back on so you would see what it should look like. You can always, again, click the link. It'll take you right to YouTube, and hopefully it will play for you, okay? Now with each video, you also have the PowerPoint notes, and so you can either click on this one, and it will give you a format that is, they're little, but you have a place to take notes. Or if you would prefer, you can click the other one and it gives you the full size. So whichever way you want to, you may want to have this for study and the other to take notes. It's up to you. Download them all, take them to Staples and print them out if you want to print them out. So each PowerPoint, each video has its own set of PowerPoints. So you simply click through, watch a video, take notes, watch a video, take notes. My videos are typically somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes long. So if you've got an hour, you may be able to watch 2 or 3 videos, take a break, and then come back later and watch another video. Just continue to do that until you finish out the unit. Now, if I find websites that I think are helpful, then I will add them in as well. So from time to time, you'll come to a page that doesn't have a video, but it's got links. So for example, this one takes you to a link that's not working at the moment. I'll have to check that, see why not. Even I get, let's try this one. There we go. I'll have to see what's wrong with the other link. So here's a Quizlet that I found that you can practice. So from time to time, I will add links and for extra information and study helps. Now, if you get to a link and you've tried it and it's not working, send me an email and let me know. And don't just say it's that link of some random link. Copy it off for me and send it to me in the email, so that I know which link it is, because every semester when these courses copy from one semester to the other, just random things happen and links break. And so obviously that's what's happened here. There's probably a period that didn't copy or something. So I'll fix that. So again, if you find a broken link, let me know, because again, each semester I try to check them all, but there's a lot. I have 5 courses, so sometimes they get by. So again, here's another link that you can go. Got to get a flash player, which it's the new year, so obviously I'm going to have to update my computer. And you have a virtual lab for doing blood typing. So again, this is not, if you're in 201 you don't, but I'm just showing you. Anytime you see a blue thing that's a link, it's probably some kind of a review activity for you. Okay? So again, once you have finished a week, you go back to the unit. And I have weekly quizzes. Now these are for points. So after you finish a week on Sunday evening before midnight, you have to take this quiz. You have 2 attempts. They are open book, open notes. Just don't do them together with anybody. Don't cheat, but you can look at your notes and take these quizzes. They're not proctored. You have 2 attempts, and your highest grade will be counted. Now, I don't grade the weekly quizzes. They're auto-graded. And so that means that every once in a while, you may not put in the exact answer that the quiz is asking. So I'm going to scroll down. So for example, right here it says, name the small cells that look like discs. Well, the answer is erythrocytes, okay? Because when you learn about red blood cells and RBCs, the actual name is erythrocytes. So make sure that you're looking at the lab guide. That thing I showed you, I'll go back and show you. However it's listed in the lab guide, that's the answer, okay? And don't put the erythrocytes, because extra words are going to get counted wrong. So these would just be erythrocytes, okay? This says name the cell type at pointer B. That's a monocyte, so you wouldn't say the monocyte or just monocyte. That's all you would put, because anything that you put in extra is going to get counted wrong. Now on an actual exam, I do go back and I regrade every exam, and I do award partial credit. And so I can make those kind of judgment calls and give you credit. But on the quizzes, because you have 2 attempts and it's open book, you should be able to put the answer as it's written in the lab guide into the quiz. Okay? All right. So let me go out of this. All right. So once you've finished a week, usually there's a homework assignment, and I usually have the homework assignments, usually a case study. It's going to be due the 2nd Sunday. So week 1 is a quiz. The 2nd week is going to be week 2 and another quiz and homework. So I usually give you at least a week to do your homework. A lot of times it's a case study, so you'll just read the directions and it'll tell you what to do. Now, for many of the case studies, I'll either give you a quiz to get credit for it or a discussion board post. And this particular one is a discussion board post. So what you'll do is you'll click on the document, read it, answer the questions, and you'll post your answers in the discussion board, which is here. And you'll see a place where it says how to do it, where to do it. So this is where you'll post your answer. I'll get your posts, and then I can grade it for you. Now, in order to get credit, you have to review and answer the questions and look at someone else's post. So you're kind of grading each other's case studies and learning from each other. So you have to do your own case study and then read the case study answers from 2 other students and do feedback and say, I agreed with your answer, I see that that was correct, or it was not correct, this is why. So make sure you're grading each other and discussing the case studies. And then once you've done 2 responses to another student, then I'll get a notification and you'll get your grade. So what you don't want to do is wait to the last minute. So if everybody submits their answers the last hour of the second week, nobody has time to make the post to the original discussion board. So you need to be working on these throughout the unit. They'll always be posted so you can see them. Put your answers in there so that you have plenty of time to see other people's answers and respond to them. Okay. So while we're here at the discussion board, I'm really seeing who's actually watching this video. I would like for you guys to introduce yourself in the discussion board. The very first thread is introductions, and this allows us to get to know each other. You can also put in there if you're interested in meeting somebody, maybe having a study buddy or something like that. So again, take some time to introduce yourself in the discussion board so that everybody can meet everybody in the course and possibly form relationships for study buddies and things like that. This is also where we're going to do our group projects. So later on in the semester, when I assign your group projects, you'll be able to work on those in the discussion board. So back to course content. So you've done working on your homework. You do the second week of information, take your second quiz, and then the last folder has the exams. There's also review activities. So you want to make sure you open up this folder before the day of the exams because there's a lot of extra help in here. So you've got some lab reviews and lecture reviews. So make sure you take advantage of doing these maybe Saturday or Sunday before the exams are due. And then scroll down and you'll find the actual lab and lecture exams. If you're going to the testing center, you'll simply click on this button. It'll pop up and the testing center will know what to do. They'll override the system and put in the password and the exam will do exactly what it's supposed to do. If you're testing from home, what's going to happen is going to click in and Honor Lock is going to come on. And this is where you'll register for Honor Lock. Make sure you've got all your extensions, paid your fees. Obviously, I haven't done all that yet for the semester. And you'll agree to the policy and basically get started. Once you've done this one time and paid your $30 fee, then it'll automatically start for the next exam. So you want to make sure that you do this for your very first exam. If your exam is, your first lab exam is going to be due on Tuesday, on a Tuesday night by 7 o'clock, you don't want to start doing this like at 6:30, okay? The exams take at least an hour. So even for testing center people, if the testing centers close at 7 o'clock, you have to be there by 6 o'clock in order to start your exam. So you want to give yourself at least an hour for an exam so that you can get all of your everything set up and get to the testing center or get your Honor Lock set up. So don't wait to the last minute. Don't wait till 6:30 and start trying to log in because you won't finish and the exam will close on you. Now, a word about those 7 o'clock due dates. I have to pick a due date and I have to pick a due time. You do not have to take exams on the due date. If it's due on Tuesday at 7 o'clock and that's not convenient for you, take it on Monday. You can always take exams early. You just can't take them late, okay? But I have to pick a due date. Otherwise, everybody would wait to the very last week of the semester, and that would be a nightmare. So I know some people don't get home from work till 6 or 7 o'clock. Again, it's just due by Tuesday. That doesn't mean you can't take it on Monday. Or if the exam is due by Thursday, that doesn't mean you can't take it on Wednesday. So look ahead, look at the due dates, and go ahead and schedule when you need to take your exam so that you have plenty of time. Again, give yourself at least an hour for each exam. All right? So that's what it looks like. I think that's all for this orientation video. That basically walks you through everything you need to do and where everything is. So I'm going to stop this video. Again, go to the discussion board, post in there, tell me hello, meet your classmates. If you have any questions, send me an email, and good luck. I will see you in a few days or weeks or months as you continue to log in and see me every day. All right.